Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. Check this out. Look how cool this is. I will, obviously, you can't see it there. I will try to remember to do a close up. This is a hat that I had made. This is not a sports team logo. If you go back on the channel, I showed this logo off. I created this logo for my company, or my DBA company, called Coraxial. Coraxial.com is the host of my education software. So I created a DBA just for that, and I decided if I'm going to have a company, it needs a logo, and why not make that logo a sports team logo? Since the name is based off of ravens, Corax, Corpus Corax, I made a raven logo with the help of one of the, I don't remember which AI tool that I used, but I used an AI tool along with some stuff that I had drawn to help generate this idea, and then I had to do a whole bunch of fixing. So it's like a combination of my work and AI work to create this little logo. And I got it in gray, which I think turned out really, really nice. Because I've been wearing this hat now for about a year. This is the Wheeling Nailers. They from Wheeling, West Virginia. They are a single A hockey team. So minor league hockey, but they are pros, and I love going to see them play. They are an affiliate, or they were, or still are, an affiliate of the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I've seen quite a few players from there get moved up in the world. Been wearing this for about a year. This was the first gray hat that I owned, and I thought, man, I really like the gray. I think it works well because it matches my hair color. So I wanted to get another gray hat. So instead of doing black or anything like that, I decided to do this guy in gray, and I think I really like it a lot. So new hat. And if you don't know my history of hats, on this show, this is probably the only time you'll see me without a hat. Like if we were to meet in person, I would have a hat on. And I have my entire adult life, basically. I've worn a hat of some kind. If you go back to early days of this show, all the way back to my time getting out of the Marine Corps. In the Marine Corps, I wore baseball caps, just plain black baseball caps. I never wore anything with a logo on it because I've never really enjoyed, I never really had a sports team that I cared too much about until my mid-20s, when I really started to get back into hockey and followed hockey a lot. And then soccer, I got into soccer in my early 20s because I started to be able to watch it. And so I just had plain black baseball caps. When I got out of the military, I switched to like traditional men's caps, like hats. Like I had fedoras. I wore a lot of fedoras. I wore bowlers for a while, which was a weird phase. I had these huge like 1800s mutton chops and a bowler. But I wore fedora hats for like a decade. Something like that. Maybe even longer. Actually, yeah, definitely longer. I wore fedora hats for almost 2 decades. Almost, not quite. Like 17 years, 18 years, something like that. And so if you knew me, if you met me in the early days of this show, if you met me in the early days of doing stuff for Portal Games, at conventions, you knew me as I wore a fedora all the time. I wore a fedora before Tom Vassell started wearing a fedora. And that stopped in 2017. So in 2017, my kid's grandpa died. He was my father-in-law at the time, and we had kind of shared a bond over hats. We would order hats. He would order, I'm going to order a hat. You want a new hat? Like, sure. And so because I started wearing them, or I started coming around and I was wearing them, and he's like, man, I'm just started wearing them. So he started wearing them, and it kind of became a little thing that we shared. And so when he died, it just, I lacked the enthusiasm to put the fedora back on. Like, it wasn't, for me, it wasn't mine anymore, right? It wasn't my thing. It was my thing for a long time. I was the only person in this town wearing a fedora. And I wore them like unironically. Like I would wear them with hockey jerseys. Like it was just a hat. It was just something to cover my head. So when I gave up wearing the fedoras, I did go hatless for a couple of months, and then I started wearing baseball caps again. And I've now have dozens of them, probably too many of them, to be honest. I have a lot of baseball caps, and so when I designed the logo, I was gonna buy one, but I didn't for a while. I bought this. This just showed up today. Because this one it's a year old now, and it's starting to show that it's a year old. It's pretty stained and getting kind of nasty, and I wanted something kind of cool. But I also discovered a service. Well, not a service. This I got off of Etsy. I discovered a website called the Clink Room, and the Clink Room is they sell fitted caps with other people's logos. Like you design a team logo, and they'll put it on a cap. They're expensive. They're like $55 for one of these hats, and they take like 6 months, or well, like 3 to 6 months for them to show up. They're all pre-order basis, and they do all kinds of bill matching and stuff. They make short run cool hats. And I was gonna buy one, and I was gonna buy one, and I was gonna buy one. Like, there's a couple of designs that I really like. They now have a pre-order up for one that's got 2 D6s, like an explosion, which I think looks amazing. And I just decided to buy this to kind of quell my need to purchase a $55 hat. I think this cost me like $30, which I bought. I think I bought from this same company. I have a Portal Games hat. I don't have it down here. If you watch the Imperial Miners video, I was wearing the Portal Games hat. I bought that same place, I think. So, I like hats. Do you like hats? Do you have any favorite hats that you wear a lot? In the game channel, I've been wearing a play hat. Do I have it down here? If you watch the game channel, I have a hat on that says play. That is from one of my favorite YouTubers, David Picciuto. He designed that. He had made like a rope light fake neon sign looking thing that said play, and he made that hat design, so I bought it. And that kind of, I've worn that to a few conventions now as kind of like I'm a gamer, like, hat. So I've been wearing hats I've been mostly wearing hats on that channel, because if you're going to meet me in person and talk about games, I'm going to be wearing a hat. And I've had a lot of people say they didn't recognize me because I was wearing a hat. And they were like, I was looking for your hair, and I don't, anyway. Am I Clark Kent? Can I put a hat on and just turn into a regular person? As if I'm not a regular person. As if I'm not just some guy who publishes his life. I had a person comment yesterday, they can't believe I'm still doing this show even though nobody watches it. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. I can't either. And I'm actually really proud of that. Really happy about it too, because I feel like the people that do watch are the people that I love the most. Like we actually have a connection, and I think that's what makes it special. I think it would be very hard to maintain any sort of semblance of genuineness if I had a large audience. So I appreciate that. Anyway, just wanted to show off my new hat. What have you been up to? And again, do you wear hats? Do you have special hats that are important to you? I have too many hats, and probably should get rid of some. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is satiety. It is a noun meaning the sensation of feeling or being full or having eaten too much. Although we knew we would be struck by satiety, we could not resist the gustatory delights offered at the Whittington's New Year's Gala. Satiety. S-A-T-I-E-T-Y. I wanted to pronounce that wrong because I've always heard being satiated. So would that not be satiety? I mean, they're the same root, right?